Remakes provide a good point of interest in storytelling. You get to explore old favorites in a new light, understand better why things are the way they are, and understand better why you react a certain way to certain things. Recently, that's exactly what I did with Kino no Tabi. There's a few stories that exist in both the original and the remake of the series, but for our interest today, I want to look at the origin story of Kino and the episode Land of Adults. The story in both versions are identical. A girl met a traveler by the name of Kino, and being a daughter of an inn owner, she brought Kino to her family's inn. She woke up the next day and finds Kino fixing a motorrad and went down to meet him. The pact was discussed, and the girl named the motorrad before moving to the main topic of the discussion, jobs and adults. Kino discovered that all children in the country will go through a surgery that takes the children out of people, allowing them to smile and enjoy work that they don't want to do. Honestly speaking, the scene triggered a huge wave of introspection now that I'm a working adult compared to when I first watched this as a kid. Kino asked the girl what does she enjoy the most and then broke into a badly sung song. The next day, the girl brought up to her parents that she doesn't want to go through the surgery. The parents and the entire town chastised her for that decision and asked Kino to leave, pointing out that he is the cause of this heretic decision. As Kino was about to leave, he saw that the parents was going to dispose of their defect and rush in to save the girl, dying in the process. On a side note, can I just raise that even when rewatching the scene, I fully expected the whole "run" from Kino's dying breath, but the guy just crumpled and died. It's great. The motorrad Hermes gave the option of escape to Kino, who, after a quick think, leapt onto the saddle and escaped from the country before collapsing onto a field of red flowers, and then the girl was named Kino by Hermes. The episode ends with a song and a call for an encore. Did you notice the difference between the two versions? I'll go through the obvious ones, right? The design of the incumbent Kino is radically different. The song that they sung was entirely different. Instead of a childish pegboard that was there in the original one, the special tree tower thing is used as a countdown of the days instead, and Kino was a lot more clumsy when she first got into Hermes in the original. But to me, the main difference is the storytelling language that's being used. The 2017 version used many dramatic visual styles and sound effects. The scene where the children are briefed about the surgery, you have everything bathed in red with a very pronounced cross, which is not a very subtle insinuation. Distorted and shaky cam is used heavily in the climax of the scene, and the bird that the girl saw before her escape was bright blue. It was very stylized, and there's quite a lot of that throughout the episode. Compare this to the original, where everything is much simpler and neutral. Even in the climax scene, the distortions are kept to a minimal. And I think that's where the main difference is between the 2017 and 2003 version of Kino no Tabi. The 2017 version gives judgment to what it presents. Look at these deranged people. Religious brainwashing. Isn't this shocking? And this is pretty consistent throughout in the other episodes as well, where you have quite a lot of highlights of horrible things happening. The 2003 version of the anime shows little interest in doing all that. It doesn't try to pass judgment on what it's showing you, but it's trying to simply provide you a lens to the world and ask you a question. What do you think about all this? It gives you a situation to observe, and while it certainly has its leanings, left you alone to ponder how it all reflects. And we can see the biggest contrast between the two from the way that the first episode had been chosen. The 2017 version opted for a story with a clear antagonist, a lot of human interaction, and a clear focus on violence. It ramps up its tension through the sense of danger, with constant flashes of weapons being focused on in the episode, and with the title and warning of other characters around this is a town where killing is allowed. The 2003 version, on the other hand, started an episode where it highlights loneliness and human connection. For the first half of the entire thing, there is no one to interact with. There was only Kino and Hermes. And instead of ramping up tension through danger, instead it used the mystery of the empty town. Why was it there? Why was it like that? Where is everyone? It asks those questions, and it takes its time in providing you with the answer. Over and over and over again, it is relentless exercise in questioning the world and trying to understand what's going on. Every new place, a new question, a mirror to look at our own lives. And when a mirror is held up to you and you find your own answers to the questions that it raises, that is far more powerful and far more memorable than any message that the show wants to have, highlighted with violence, dangers, and distortions. There's a ton more that can be covered in Kino no Tabi. It's that kind of show. If you have not watched the series yet, I suggest watching the first episode of both the 2003 and 2017 version, and it will clearly tell you which one you would prefer to watch. But I think it's either one is worth watching for, at the very least, the questions that some of them brings up. Have a good night, good day ahead, and all of that good stuff.